Hi, my name's Tiana, and I am a clinical education travel advisor.
Wow.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So it sounds like we're going to plan for your trip starting in August 2021 for
Right.
6 weeks. So what were you thinking?
I was thinking just somewhere warm, you know, this Colorado winter just isn't for me. So yeah, I'm looking for something warm. I would love to get my rule requirement out of the way, but the thing is, Hawaii sounds great, but I'm kind of on a tight budget here. So what do you think is good for me?
So with all that into consideration, I think that going to a tropical island like Fiji or Bali would be way too expensive for you, and it might be hard to get that full rural experience. So I was thinking maybe a deserted island would be best. I do know a few places that would work well for you. There's one island, it looks like if you're wanting to go into PT, sports physical therapy, there is an island with a volleyball named Wilson that might be able to help drop some knowledge. Otherwise, I do know that the cast of Lost is looking for a student PT to help them after their terrible plane crash, so that could also be an option. Does that sound all right?
Great. Dude, that was such a dope clinical. It was so rural. I saw like no patients. I basically just surfed and ate some mangoes. Thanks, Tiana.
All right, Alyssa, so it sounds like we're going to be planning your 8-week clinical. Is that right?
Well, Tiana, I don't really care where I go as long as I get that inpatient experience. I'm also kind of hoping to get to work maybe with like some psychology, like mental health, because I know that can really affect pain perception. And I'm very interested in kind of the pain, like perceived pain portion of PT.
All right, Liz, so for this one, I was thinking that maybe we put you in a psychiatric hospital. You'd be in an isolated setting in which you could really build a relationship with your patients over time. There is one in Colorado, and I think it's considered abandoned, but people still sometimes roam the halls there, and they're looking for someone to ease their minds and put their bones to rest. So I think you'd be really great at that. The electricity actually doesn't work in this building, so the only requirement is that you bring a flashlight on site, so here you go. If you want a more unique experience with more difficult and intricate caseloads, I would also recommend maybe something like Alcatraz. And those who are incarcerated need physical therapy, and you would directly work with some really unique cases in knowing how the human mind works. How'd the clinical experience go? What your last clinical rotation is going to be. This is a little bit of a longer one, so I think you're thinking out of state.
Absolutely, yeah. I would really like to get out of Denver, something outside of my comfort zone.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so like I'm really looking something out of this world, really want to step outside my comfort zone, getting a little tired of Denver, so anything along those lines that you'd be able to recommend, I think I would be excited to try the new opportunity.
Okay, so yes, I think that the perfect location for you would actually be outer space. It's so far away from here, and I know it's a bit crazy, but it's your last time doing it, so you might as well. It was the farthest location that I could find that would accept a student physical therapist. It looks like they could find new living arrangements on the moon, but the site is actually on Mars, so we're gonna have to probably rent you a spaceship to get you back and forth. I could also find something closer to the sun if you're looking for something a bit warmer. The only issue is that this one, because it's so far away, we're probably gonna have to, instead of doing like an individual 12-week clinical rotation, we'll combine it to that full 24-week. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like a great fit. Sign me up. Let's go. Blast off! That experience was out of this world. I met so many diverse populations. I got to test manual muscle testing of tentacles, and I even learned a new language. That was awesome. I couldn't ask for a better experience. Thanks, Tiana.
In all seriousness, my name is Tiana, and I am running for our class's clinical education representative. I think that I would make a great representative because I strongly believe that everyone's clinical education experience should be exciting before getting out and working in the real world. This is your time to find what suits you best within your career path, and I'm dedicated to making this process run as smooth as possible by helping you along the way. Over the past couple of weeks, I have seen how this specific aspect of PT school can be very stressful, and I would love to ease as much of that stress as possible. My DISC profile says that I am an SC or a peacemaker, and one of the characteristics that I exemplify while working with groups of people is making sure that everyone in the group is comfortable, understands what steps might need to be taken, and that they feel like they are a part of that process. Finding a site that personally fits your wants and needs is very important and should be taken seriously because these decisions can potentially affect our future as physical therapists. A personal example of this is something that I have experienced within the last few weeks. I came into PT school knowing that I wanted to do my rural clinical on an Indian reservation so that I could assist a population that is underrepresented within the healthcare system. My advisor and I have been putting in a lot of effort in order to make this happen, and I've realized that I'm willing to go the same distance and even an extra mile or two more in order to help my peers find their best fit out in the clinic.